This kitchen's gone now, so we need a secondary kitchen to use while this kitchen is taken out and until this gets rebuilt, which will be soon, hopefully. So if we go right through the door and around the corner, so this is our little secondary kitchen for now. It's just kind of, I'm not even sure what this room was supposed to be, but it'll be a pantry once we're done. But for now, it's our little work area. So we have our new fridge and we have our old changing table in here that makes a nice counter space. And the little bit of a problem right now is there's all this stuff on it that we use every day, but it's in the way. So I thought what I'd make is I'd hang a little shelf on the wall back here. I was thinking like 4 feet by 2 feet would be a good size. And I could use the scraps from the old kitchen just to make something quick. I got mostly plywood out of the kitchen, but also some nice pieces of fir with very, very straight grain. So this is one of the base pieces to the cabinets, and it's actually almost the shape that I wanted to use for my little shelf. So what I was thinking is instead of cutting down a bunch of plywood is to just use this. But what I might do is take it apart, kind of cut it in half, because I want to add a shelf in the middle, and then just make it sort of a 31-inch wide by 20-inch tall cabinet. Or a little shelf. I think that'll work. There. This is these funny spiral nails. I don't know if that's so they go in straighter or if they just hold better. It's probably a little bit of both. I can pull this apart. Now I planed a couple of the pieces, but it wasn't so much to get them to a thickness, but more just to clean up the surface. Just to get the 40 years of, or the 60 years of crud off of them. And then I'll cut them to length. I'll lay out the basic shape. Now what I want to do is put dados on the side pieces, which will help hold the shelves in place. And it'll help when putting the shelves together because they'll fall into the dados. Then it's just a matter of gluing and nailing the pieces together. It doesn't matter too much whether it's perfectly square or not, just as long as it looks square, it's fine. Now one of the pieces that came out of the kitchen was a nice sheet of 1/4-inch plywood, and I think it's veneer maple plywood. And it's sort of aged and yellow now. I'll put the back on with staples. Then find where that middle shelf is, as it helps if that gets some support from the back. And there's the form of the shelf, and there's just some cleaning up and hanging to do. So I just attached the back right to the back of the shelf, so now I can use a flush trimming bit and trim that to the size of the shelf. So I didn't have to cut the back perfectly to fit to the shelf. I can get it kind of close, and then I can trim it to size. I have this tung oil that I want to get rid of, so I'll use that. Now to hang the shelves on the wall, I thought about just screwing the back right to the wall, but that wouldn't be as strong as it could be, and it wouldn't let me move the shelves if I needed to. So what I can use is a little piece of this Z-clip that I have left over. So my case I made 32 inches wide, which means it'll just span between 3 studs in the wall. So instead of having the piece the clip come all the way to the edge, I'm going to do a 20-inch piece in the middle. It'll span between two studs in the wall. It's just a strip without any holes drilled in it, so I need to drill some holes for screws. For the piece that attaches to the cabinet, I'll put the screws into the top shelf so that they hold to more than just the back, which is pretty thin. So because the cleat has a little bit of thickness, I need to add that thickness at the bottom of the table. And the back material, which I have a little scrap of, it turned out to be almost exactly perfect as far as thickness. So I'm going to add a piece at the bottom so that the shelves will hang vertically. Then it's a matter of putting it in place. I looked for the studs in the wall that must be there, and I marked for the height approximately, and I thought I had found where the studs were, but when I started to drill holes I wasn't going into anything. But it did seem like there's a sheet of plywood on the wall behind the paint. I'll just put the screws in where it makes sense, and they seem to hold pretty well. I'm not worried so much about where the studs are. I wanted to put up our paper towel holder that I saved from the kitchen. And it's good that the shelves move because the center for the paper towel holder wouldn't go in if I couldn't move the shelves. And then all the stuff can go on the shelves. And it's done. And we have a sort of functional kitchen. I don't want it to get too comfortable or too easy because then I won't finish the real kitchen. Thanks for watching.